What's up, my friend? Welcome back to another video. So today, I just wanted to talk to you about the #1 secret to becoming a better composer. This is something that not a lot of people talk about. It's something that's debated quite a bit, but I think there's a really clear answer. And so there really is just one solution to becoming a better composer, and that is to purchase more sample libraries. Now, let me kind of talk about why this is the case. So when you're on the market, right, and you're kind of venturing into a certain field, the tools that you use are very, very important because those are the things that will provide you with a solid foundation and a solid base right out of the gate, you know? So sample libraries, this is a market that's only exploded in the last decade or so, and samples have existed before this, of course, but really in the last decade or so, technology has really advanced to the point where developers are creating more and more and more libraries, and that clearly means that there is a market for them, right? So the point being, when we venture into music making or music creation and we really want to create realistic sounding mockups and results that truly move our audience, the single most important element we have at our disposal is our libraries, the tools that we end up starting with. The skill itself doesn't really matter because you can kind of fake your way through it, but the tools themselves are the things that will make you a better composer. And one thing to add on to that is that usually the more pricey a library is, the better it will be as well. If you think about it, right, there are like $1,000, $2,000 libraries, and then there are ones that are $200, $300 in price range as well. The ones that are more expensive usually will be way, way better than the ones that are cheaper as well. Usually because the developer is investing way more time and resources into that product. And even if they're not, their perceived value of that product is so much higher that it makes us want to invest in those libraries. And that in turn has sort of a placebo effect, and it makes us make the most use out of those libraries when we purchase them, no matter what. So yeah, generally I would say the bigger the investment is, the better the library is, even if it's not maybe as deeply sampled, or maybe it's overly sampled as well. Like maybe it's bloated with tons of mic positions and lots of samples and stuff. Usually that's a much, much better option than having a stripped down library that only has the core essentials of what you really need. The more samples you have, the more choice you have, and that's always a great thing, you know? So when you're working on a project and you're looking through your samples, you never want to be at a point where you say, oh, I don't have enough for my project. Like this is not enough. I can't write music with what I already have. You always want to have libraries that take up all your hard drive space, libraries that basically give you endless possibilities, tons of options that you can choose from, because at the end of the day, the more you have, the better it's going to be. I mean, you know the saying, right? More is more. So I truly believe that you should be able to write like John Williams, Hans Zimmer style music, quality level music, just by having the best sample libraries, the most sample libraries out of any composer. It's always a competition of who has what, right? So you always want to make sure you have the latest thing. Gas isn't a real thing. Like, don't worry about how much gear you have. It's always better to have more, just because you always want those unlimited options at your disposal. So it really doesn't matter, what skill level you're at. It all comes down to the actual tools that you're using and what those actual samples are all about. Those really are the secret to writing better music and becoming a better composer in this day and age. It's always better to have too much, because then you can always pick and choose between them. And even if you kind of get overwhelmed, you can just take a break and then come back and reassess, like, what sort of libraries am I going to be using here? What sort of patches do I need? And then you can go through and spend hours looking at those different patches, deciding what your project really wants. In any case, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video, and yeah, have a great day. Thanks.